want to tell you something that I wish someone had told me sooner. Sometimes when a doctor says it's nothing, it doesn't always mean it's nothing. I'm not here to blame anyone. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because I've lived through something I never thought would happen to me. And if my story helps even one person push a little harder for answers, then sharing it is worth it. Because my doctor said it was nothing, and it was cancer. It started small. That's how these stories usually begin. I began feeling unusually tired. Not just I didn't sleep well tired. This was bone-deep exhaustion. I'd wake up already tired. I'd sit on the couch and feel like I had just run a marathon. But life was busy. I was juggling responsibilities, stress, family. So when I went to my primary doctor and told them I was exhausted, they smiled kindly and said, "You're probably just stressed." They ran basic blood work. Everything came back normal. And that word, normal, became the most dangerous reassurance of my life. Then came the pain. It wasn't severe at first, just a dull ache, something easy to dismiss. It moved around, sometimes my back, sometimes my abdomen. It wasn't sharp enough to send me to the ER. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. I went back. Again, I was told it was likely muscle strain. Maybe anxiety. Maybe hormones. Maybe I needed rest. Maybe I needed to exercise more. Maybe I needed to relax. Maybe. I started to doubt myself. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe this really was just stress. Months passed. The fatigue got worse. The pain became more frequent. I started noticing subtle changes. My appetite wasn't the same. I felt full quickly. I had strange digestive issues that didn't make sense. I went back again. This time I was told it might be IBS. I was given medication. And again I was sent home. And here's something I need to say, especially to women. We are often told our symptoms are stress, anxiety, hormones, weight, emotions. And after hearing it enough times, you start believing it. I stopped pushing. And that decision still haunts me. One night, everything changed. The pain was different, sharp, persistent, unignorable. I went to the emergency room. This time, they did imaging. And within hours, I saw the shift in the room. The way the nurse avoided eye contact. The way the doctor's tone softened. They found a mass. A mass that had been growing quietly while I was being told it was nothing. Cancer. I remember staring at the ceiling tiles while the word echoed in my head. Cancer. How could that be? I had been to the doctor multiple times. I had blood tests. I had described my symptoms. And every time I was reassured. It's nothing. I'm not sharing this to attack doctors. Most are caring and doing their best. But medicine isn't perfect. And symptoms don't always scream. Sometimes they whisper. And mine whispered for months. By the time it was discovered, it wasn't early stage. It wasn't small. It wasn't simple. Treatment wasn't a quick surgery and done. It was aggressive. Chemotherapy. Scans, hair loss. Side effects. Fear. The kind of fear that changes you permanently. Here's what I learned as someone who has now seen it all. You know your body. You live in it every day. If something feels wrong and stays wrong, that matters. Even if tests come back normal. Even if someone tells you it's stress. Even if you feel embarrassed bringing it up again. Persistent symptoms deserve persistent investigation. Looking back, there were red flags. The unexplained fatigue, the lingering pain, the subtle appetite changes, the way I just didn't feel like myself. But none of those alone screamed cancer. That's the tricky part. Cancer doesn't always announce itself dramatically. Sometimes it blends into everyday life. And when doctors are busy and symptoms are vague, things can be missed. Not maliciously, just humanly. During treatment, I met others like me. People who were told they were too young. People who were told it was anxiety. People who were told it was weight gain, acid reflux, menopause, back strain. And then suddenly it was cancer. Hearing their stories made me realize this wasn't rare. It happens more than we talk about. If you take anything from my story, let it be this. If your symptoms persist, escalate. Ask for imaging. Ask for referrals. Ask for second opinions. There is no prize for being the easy patient. There is no reward for staying silent. You are not difficult for advocating for your health. You are responsible. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if imaging had been done earlier. Would it have been caught sooner? Would treatment have been less aggressive? Would my body have endured less trauma? I don't live in regret, but I do live in awareness. And awareness is powerful. Today I am here. I've endured surgeries. I've sat in infusion chairs for hours. I've watched my hair fall out. I've faced mortality in ways I never imagined. And I've also learned resilience I didn't know I had. Cancer changes you, but so does being dismissed. That part lingers. That part is why I speak now. To anyone watching who feels unheard, please don't ignore your instincts. Please don't shrink your symptoms to make others comfortable. Please don't let the word normal silence your concern if you still feel unwell. Normal labs don't always mean a normal body. You deserve answers. If a doctor says it's nothing, and your body says it's something, it's okay to listen to your body. Ask questions like, what else could this be? What tests would rule out something serious? Can we monitor this closely? Can I see a specialist? Those questions could change everything. I survived, but survival came at a cost. And if sharing this story prevents even one delayed diagnosis, then the vulnerability is worth it. Medicine saves lives, but self-advocacy does too. Don't wait for your symptoms to become an emergency. Don't wait for pain to become unbearable. Don't wait for someone else to take you seriously. Take yourself seriously, because sometimes it's nothing isn't nothing. Sometimes it's the beginning of a story you never saw coming. And sometimes pushing one more time for answers can change the entire outcome. If this story resonates with you, listen to that feeling. Your body whispers before it screams, and you deserve to hear it.